Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Learning with Isha. We're talking about population interactions and we continue doing the same today. Today we are going to talk about an interaction called mutualism. What is mutualism? Like we always discuss, for all the interactions, first of all, is it a positive, negative or neutral interaction? Mutualism, from the word itself you can make out that it is a positive interaction, okay? It is a positive interaction. म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट मतलब क्या होता है, दो लोग हैं उनको एक दूसरे के साथ रहने से फायदा हो रहा है. इट्स कॉल्ड अ म्यूचुअल बेनिफिट. सिमिलरली द वर्ड म्यूचुअलिज्म आल्सो कम्स फ्रॉम दैट. देयर आर टू पार्टनर्स एंड बोथ ऑफ देम आर बेनिफिटेड by this interaction. Such an interaction is called mutualism. Both the partners are called mutualists. Okay, both the partners that are benefited are called mutualists. This is a beneficial interaction and many examples of this. If you even pause the video and take a second to think about all those interactions where two people are benefited. Okay, let's begin with the first one. The moment I write the word lichen, it would sound like a very familiar word to you. What is lichen? Lichen is a mutualistic interaction naturally between two partners. Try to guess what partners. One is the algal partner and second is the fungal partner. Now since both of them are deriving benefits, to understand what an organism might be doing, you need to think what are the properties of that organism. An algae is an organism capable of performing photosynthesis. Algae अपना खुद का खाना बना सकता है, ठीक है? So what the algae is going to do is going to perform photosynthesis and provide the nutrients to the fungal partner. So it is going to perform photosynthesis and it is going to give the fungal partner carbohydrates that are formed due to this photosynthetic process. What is the fungal doing? The fungus doing? The fungus is capable of spreading to a very large area. So what it will do is it is going to absorb water, it is going to absorb minerals, absorb nutrients and give it to the algal partner who's making the food. So the fungus is going to absorb nutrients, minerals and water and it is going to give it to the algal partner. Besides that, a fungus is spreading, so it is also giving the algae some space to live, okay? So it is also giving shelter to the algal partner. Lichen is this interaction. Both the partners need to survive together to be able to survive. Now let's talk about another such interaction which is known as mycorrhiza. What is mycorrhiza? A hint is that कि लाइकन और माइकोराइजा में एक पार्टनर तो कॉमन होता है. कौन सा, एल्गल या फंगल? वेल, द फंगल पार्टनर इज कॉमन. Mycorrhiza is an association between the roots of higher plants and a fungal partner. So naturally what must be happening here, instead of the algae, the plant is going to be making the food. So it is going to give the carbohydrates to the fungus. The fungus will continue performing the same functions except for here the plant does not need shelter from the fungus. The fungal partner is capable of particularly looking for minerals like phosphorus and nitrogen that is going to help the plant grow. How beneficial is this interaction? It will be illustrated by the example I'm going to tell you. When a species of pine was introduced in Australia, you'd be surprised to know that the seed could not germinate by itself till its mycorrhizal partner was also not introduced. Okay, उसको जब mycorrhiza का partner मिला तभी वो germinate कर पाया. That is how important this interaction is. An example of one such plant is pine and one such fungal partner is boletus. Let's look at some more examples of mutualism. Another such beneficial interaction is between the roots of leguminous plants and the rhizobium bacteria. The first question here is, what are leguminous plants? The plants of pulses, the cereal plants, they are all legumes. Okay, these pulses are called leguminous plants. Rhizobium, what is rhizobium? Well, rhizobium is a bacteria. So this interaction can be between fungi, algae, between higher plants and the fungi. Here we are seeing the case of plants and bacteria. Furthermore, we are going to see termites and the intestinal flagellates. So this is an interaction which is present across various domains. Okay. Now let's see this example. Rhizobium is a bacteria. What does rhizobium do? Well, rhizobium fixes the atmospheric nitrogen. And it converts this atmospheric nitrogen to ammonia. What is the benefit of this? Plant roots directly cannot absorb this atmospheric nitrogen and make amino acids out of it. Okay, amino acids have this NH2 group in them. Okay, for that the plants require this fixed nitrogen. Who is going to do that? This rhizobium has a nitrogenase enzyme and it is going to convert it to this ammonia, absorbable nitrogen for the plants. Now what advantage is rhizobium getting? Well, the roots of plants are giving it shelter, it's giving it food, organic materials, and also giving it some water. Okay, so these are the advantages rhizobium derives out of the plant. Now let's look at one such more interaction between termites and the flagellates, organisms having flagella that are present in the intestine of the termite. What is termite? जिसको हम आम भाषा में दीमक कहते हैं. हमारे दरवाजों के घर के या कबर्ड्स में दीमक लग जाती है. They are termites. Okay. What does termite do? Naturally, you would know it is a wood eater. Okay. So it feeds on wood. Wood कहाँ मिलता है? Plant में मिलता है. And naturally, plant में क्या होता है? Cell wall में cellulose होता है. So to be able to break down wood, we need to digest cellulose. But you'll be very surprised to know that this termite, even though it feeds on wood, lacks a cellulase enzyme. How strange is that? I am feeding on something जिसको digest करने का enzyme मेरे पास है ही नहीं. So what happens now? It has found an alternative. It harbors, अपने intestine में किसको रखता है ये? Flagellates को. ये flagellates एक enzyme produce करते हैं. It is called beta glucosidase. ये एंजाइम क्या करता है? सेल्यूलोज को ब्रेक डाउन कर देता है into simpler forms. Okay, and now these simpler forms of sugar is utilized by the termite for its nutrition. You'd be very surprised to know that in the absence of these flagellates, the termite starves to death. That is how important mutualism can be. Now let's look at another such very interesting example. Now let's talk about the close animal-plant relationships that exist in nature. What are these animal-plant relationships? Well, the plants depend on animals for two things. Okay, they depend on animals for pollination and also for their seed dispersal. What is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther of the male flower to the stigma of the female flower. That is pollination. That is eventually going to lead to the formation of an embryo that's going to get converted into a new plant. That embryo is present within the seed. So the plant also wants that after that pollination is successful and the embryo has formed, a seed is made. The seed should also get dispersed. If the seed is dispersed, only then the plant will be able to grow in new areas. It will be able to colonize new areas. So pollination and seed dispersal. Who is doing that for the plant? Animals do that for plants. A majority of pollinators, about 70%, are in fact insects. Okay, so most plants are insect pollinated. The moment I say pollinator, the first word that comes to our minds normally is honey. Okay, so that is how close that relationship is. Now, what is the reward the plant is offering to the pollinator? Well, the pollinator gets nectar and the pollen grain. Both are energy rich, and you see honeybees nectar ke liye aati hai and then they make honey out of it, right? So that is the reward the plant is offering to the pollinator. And for seed dispersal, the plant produces these juicy, nourishing fruits that give energy to these seed dispersers. So these are the advantages. A close relationship like this is seen in the case of the fig plant and its pollinator. The fig plant has a very specific pollination partner, and it is the partner wasp. Why are we using the word partner wasp here? Because this relationship is very close. The fig plant will only be pollinated by its partner wasp. Let's say a honeybee tries to pollinate a fig plant, that is not going to happen. It needs its specific wasp for pollination. What is the reason for this? The reason for this is the fig plant has fruits. The fruits are a reward for its pollinator. But in nature, there are organisms that try to steal rewards for free. आपका reward भी ले लेंगे, आपका काम भी नहीं करेंगे. So to protect against this theft, to protect against this stealing, nature has designed a mechanism where the plant and its pollinator are very much dependent on each other. Such a relationship is called coevolution. What is coevolution? Where the evolution of one species is dependent on another species, like the fig plant and the wasp in the course of evolution have come together to be specific for each other. Okay, now what are the rewards? Let's talk about it. The fig plant produces an inflorescence, not a flower but an inflorescence. This inflorescence will be pollinated by its wasp partner. Okay, what advantage is wasp getting? It comes to the fig fruits and there it lays its eggs. Okay, it gets some space for oviposition. And besides that, it's also going to use the fig fruits to nourish its young ones, to feed its larvae. So in this interaction, we see that while the fig partner is being pollinated, the wasp also gets its own share of advantages. Thus, this is a mutualism ka example. Okay, we'll look at more such interactions in the further videos. Please stay tuned to my channel for more such interesting videos and consider subscribing.